Hello, hello. How we doing? We're doing it. We're live on Wednesday, July 2nd. Too much going on. Is Wimbledon discourse allowed? I'll say yes. So much. I don't need to type it, but sure. We can start off with some light. We can keep it light to start. Although I do worry. I do worry a lot of people aren't following the Wimbledon storylines. But all you need to know currently, oh, Kev's gonna be annoying. He's we've a painter here fixing some stuff, and there's no way to appease him. He's unhappy out there. He's unhappy in here. But yeah, it's basically there he is. It's basically upset city at Wimbledon. Very fun. So I mean, on both sides of the tournament, men's side, Medvedev, Tsitsipas, Rune, Musetti. You know that one kills me. Hate to see our guy Musetti go down. Who else have we lost? Coco Gauff, out. This is a great question, Emil. What's something you're happy about or looking forward to in your life before we drown in hatred toward the political establishment? Yeah, this is great. I feel good. My life is mostly very nice. I feel like I have a lot of nice things in my life. It's very sad watching the kind of the country falling apart at the same time. I feel like we've talked about it on the main show a lot of the hyper normalization thing of like, but yeah. So I mean I think that's my worry is watching. I don't want to watch everything fall apart. I don't want to watch. It already feels like the most you can do is bear witness to suffering. I don't want to bear witness to more suffering, but since when did YouTube put ads on lives? I don't know. This is all a recent experiment for me. I'm still figuring a lot of stuff out. I do apologize if there's a lot of ads. Whenever it asks you if you want to get into that program that you can have more features and stuff. I feel like I tried to put as little ad stuff on it as possible. So I guess do let me know if there's if it's like unwatchable because of the ad stuff. Why don't you guys let me know? Why don't you hit me with what you're happy about, what you're looking forward to? Let me know where you are. Is it all Americans? Because last time we had a pretty international audience. Let's we can start off on a positive note. Because I'll tell you what, I'm even with all with everything going on, especially with this big beautiful bill. I mean, it's just like we're drowning in it. Oh, we got Chicago in the chat. Chicago, they say the second city, but they are the first to let you know where they're watching from. New York, of course, we got some New York. Watching me at my government job to immerse myself in the turmoil better. Hell yes. North Carolina, England in the freaking chat. North Carolina, Arizona, unfortunately. Watching from Denver. Ooh, I love this. I have a container garden on my little apartment balcony, and my brown-eyed Susan just started to bloom. That is beautiful. We have a little garden too. That is a nice way to lift the spirits. Go out there, little cup of tea, walk through, let the dog sniff everything, look at the bees, see what the bees are checking out. Ooh, this is amazing. I'm on a 60-mile bike ride, so please talk for 3 more hours. 60-mile bike ride. Where can you are you currently biking right now? And also, where are you biking to and from? American in Nigeria right now. We got New York. We got an Irish living in Netherlands. Looking forward to a kneecap concert in London. Hell yes. Watching from Scotland, South Africa. It's so silly. Some people have these little crowns on. I don't even know what the hell these things do. I'm gonna have to start figuring this out. Detroit. All right, we got a lot of folks in here. Houston, DC. All right, welcome. Wow, DC with a nice little garden apartment. Good for you. But yeah, I was stopped at a red light, but I'm doing a loop in Hershey, PA. Damn, they got a 60-mile loop. Yeah, someone's saying, what the fuck? We have a leaderboard for commenters. I did not turn that on. I want to be very clear. Sorry this isn't positive, but I'm actually miserable. My OCD is kicking my ass. Sorry to hear that. And it's okay to not be positive. You know, we're not doing toxic positivity on this channel. But we will do gratitude, okay? Not toxically, though. We'll just do it. But yeah, you know, we might as well just jump in. And here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna read the entire text of the 900-page big beautiful bill. So just strap in for that. I think this one will be for the person on the 60-mile bike ride. So we're just gonna start. I'm just kidding. We're not gonna read the whole thing. That would be psycho. That would be absolutely psycho. What kind of headphones are these? These are just Shure, SHURE. But yeah, look, if the Congress people aren't going to read the thing, we're sure not going to read the 900 pages. But it doesn't look good, folks. If you haven't been paying attention, did you see the Lisa Murkowski? Someone's asking about the Lisa Murkowski tweet. We're going to get to Lisa Murkowski. I also don't know which one you're talking about. So much stuff is happening so quickly. If you haven't been paying attention, Trump desperately wants to pass his One Big Beautiful Bill Act. It's called the One Big Beautiful Bill because he's basically trying to get, he wants his whole platform to get done in one big beautiful bill. They want to get it through in reconciliation so they can use the they can take advantage of the 50 votes instead of the 60, because what do they have, 53 Republicans in the Senate, and he also wants to get it done before July 4th, or not before. I think he wants to sign it on July 4th. I think that's what the big time crunch is. It's an artificial time crunch too. A lot of people are talking about how, like, oh, we got to get it done. There's no rush to get this done, other than Trump thinks it would be cool to sign it on the 4th of July. He's nothing if not a, look, he's a TV guy. He's a TV show man. He knows what he's doing. He wants to do his One Big Beautiful Bill on July 4th. Can you blame him? And yeah, obviously this has been talked about for so long, but now we're in the crunch time. It went through the House. It was in the Senate. Some changes were made to it. The Senate passed it. It's back in the House right now. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't think there have been any, I don't think the House has made any movements. Yeah, I don't think there's been any movements. And it's impossible to keep up too, because these things keep changing. It's just, yeah. But basically the whole big, he wants to continue his, his legacy act from 2017 of the big tax bill. He wants to continue to pass on those tax savings to rich people. Greetings from Florida. Hey, from Florida. We're going to talk about Florida in a little bit. Or it might be, I mean, there's so much stuff going on. My head is spinning. And also I was talking about how we have a painter here. They also painted this room and it just happened. I was just allowed back in the room. So I'm just like huffing paint fumes. If I pass out at the computer, I don't know, call somebody. DM Ben and say Emil passed out because of paint fumes and you have to go get him. But I think I'll be okay. We got an open window. It's pretty stinky though. But yeah, he wants to keep passing on these insane tax savings to rich people, and that's going to come with extreme cuts to any kind of social programs in this country. And I'm sure you've seen a lot of people breaking it down, insane numbers like 17 million people getting kicked off of Kevin CPR. Honestly, maybe we should probably get him trained up on that. 17 million people getting kicked off healthcare, SNAP benefits being revoked for people, all kinds of, and then huge expansions for ICE and Homeland Security, border wall stuff, the Golden Dome. What am I missing? Oh, not only disincentivizing renewable energy stuff, but also penalizing it with higher taxes and stuff like that. It is a here. Let's see. We probably have some good breakdowns. Jeff Stein, from the Washington Post, has been updating. I know Chris Murphy, the senator here. Let me see if I can pull one of theirs up. So he said, I'm massively oversimplifying here. So free to yell at me, but doing my best with imperfect information. And that's the thing. This thing just keeps changing. It's all over the place. But they're extending / increasing prior GOP tax cuts with broad reach, larger standard deduction, raising child benefit to $2K to $2.2K per kid, which does sound good. But again, there's going to be all kinds of administrative burdens. There's no way families who need it are getting this entire deduction. Rate cuts across income bracket. That's going to cost $2.5 trillion. Great. Tax cuts that benefit the 1%. Look, we got to think of the 1%, don't we? Cut for top bracket. Estate tax exemptions. Good for them. We're happy. They're getting more. That's going to cost us another $1 trillion. 2024 campaign grab bag deduction for seniors, no tax on tips. Again, this is all, this is very oversimplified here. There are limits on all this stuff. Nothing is also, this is all fluid. This is going to be changing, but yeah, costs $500 billion, business tax breaks, $500 billion, funding for immigration enforcement and military budget, $0.4 trillion. And then obviously, the major safety net cuts targeting Medicaid and food stamps, work requirements, new cost sharing. That's going to be, they want to add all these burdens to people accessing these things. I think the latest thing is some kind of 80-hour per month carve out where you have to prove you're either going to school, working, or volunteering in some way. And then the clean energy cuts. Cut subsidies for rooftop solars, EVs, heat pumps, tax credits for clean energy, $500 billion with a total deficit hit of $3 trillion. This is also the, the fiscally conservative Republican Party we're talking about here. The people who are always worried about the deficit. Did you guys hear Kev's little whoop? Someone asked, didn't they use water-based paint? I don't know what they used. Probably. It still smells. But maybe there's no chemicals in that. What do I look like? This isn't the paint live stream. Okay? This is the one big, beautiful bill. And a lot of people are talking about the social, the safety net cuts, which they should. But I mean, the weirdest part about all of this to me is kind of these renewable energy things. It's just, I don't know. It feels like we're trying to. It's hard to even see the idea behind any of this. I mean, sure, of course, it's always Republicans want to cut safety programs, social safety net programs. They want to cut taxes for billionaires. They want to privatize these things. The disincentivizing all this investment in renewable energy and everything is just, I mean, it feels like we're just committing nationwide suicide or something. Especially, I mean, just it just seems like a complete refusal to grapple with the things we're going to need. Emil, can you tell us what you think of this whole Trump attacking Mamdani thing and asking if he could actually have Zohran deported or somehow have a hand? We're going to talk about Zohran. We will talk about Zohran. There's so much going on. I'm tempted to just maybe we can probably jump around. But yeah, we will get to Zohran in just a little bit. There's too much going on. But yeah, I don't know. China, all these people telling us like China's our greatest national enemy and we have to be prepared. I mean, it just reminds me of that tweet. The tweet where he's like, my Chinese dad thinks Trump was some kind of gift from God for the Chinese people because he's just destroying the country. I mean, it's almost like there's no other explanation for all this. Yeah, cool. Nancy Pelosi says, I also don't understand it because he said he needed an all of the above energy policy, yet this harms renewables, which are huge in red districts. They're already lapping us in the energy sector. Oh, dude. I mean, yeah, we can, we can look what's going on in China. How China became the world's, how China became the world's leader on renewable energy. China's achieved stunning growth in its installed renewable capacity over the last 2 decades, far outpacing the rest of the world. But to end its continued dependence on fossil fuels, it must now move ahead with planned reforms to its national electricity system. I mean, this is just... I mean, for what? And I mean, the closest you can get is you see Trump talk about how he thinks they're ugly. Are we just really, we're just going to do all this because Trump finds the way these wind farms and solar panels look ugly? And no one really has an answer. I don't know if people saw that. I'm sure people saw clips of Peter Thiel with Ross Douthat. Do what? Ross Douthat, the New York Times interview. They talked for about an hour. But a lot of people were posting the clips. There were 2 clips. The one was the very popular one was the one where he asks Peter Thiel if he prioritizes saving the human race and making sure they don't go extinct. And Peter Thiel, for some reason, could not answer the question. But a big part of it, and if you didn't watch the whole thing, you probably just saw the couple clips that people were posting. Peter Thiel who was a Trump supporter, kind of lamenting this. He seems very upset that we're not farther along than we are. He thinks we're having some kind of stagnation event. Outside of AI, there's no real, and even AI he thinks is not a huge. What, Emil? I just got a local police recruitment ad on the stream. Are you trying to turn me into a cop? No, that's your own. I will say, that's your own. That's your algorithm, brother. You're looking at cop stuff. You're looking up. I don't know what cops look up. How to beat spousal abuse charges, or that's I don't know what kind of. We're gonna have to take a look at your history. That's on you, brother. That's not on me. But yeah, he laments all this this stagnation event, and it's just so weird to watch while he also votes and supports just kind of the country being gutted. And he talks about these other eras of American innovation, and he like has all these caveats because he'll point to New Dealers, and he's like, oh, New Dealers, they had their problems, but like at least they knew to invest in science and all this stuff. And he talks about the '60s and Kennedy and the space program and all these things. I'm just like, brother, it's all connected. I don't understand what's wrong with these people. They want to like gut the country, but they also still want to make sure there's money for the things they think are good. You propped up all this huge movement, and now you're sad that we don't have investment in science. And they talk about stagnation. I mean, all we do is we get videos of we get videos from China of their new train. We see a new battery they've invented, an insane a rejection of Tesla because they have this ever expanding EV market. What did we do to ourselves, honestly? It's also funny, I just saw this on The Prospect. Seems like I'm not the only one wondering what the hell's going on with this thing. This is from Ryan Cooper. Is the Republican Party a Chinese communist conspiracy? Senate GOP just voted to destroy the economies of their own districts and hand 21st century industry to a foreign adversary. I mean, what else could the goal be? The Senate version of the big beautiful bill passed on Tuesday. It now heads to the House, where odds are strong it will get through by the end of the week. As we at The Prospect have been covering in detail, Trump's mega bill would deal a devastating blow against the green industries that will obviously drive the global economy for the rest of the century. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Oh, hell yeah. Love this from Solid Skate. This is a bit off topic. Yeah, it is, but that's okay. Just got in here. Thank you for getting me and my homies into tennis. We have like a group of 6 people and we're all just learning to play with each other. Hell yeah. See, this is what we need. We need a massive movement, a countrywide movement getting people to play tennis. This is the way we get everyone together. Yeah, and plus we're doing, huge new subsidies for coal. For example, coal leases on federal lands will be expanded by a minimum of 4 million acres, while the royalty rate would be cut from 12.5% to 8%. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, that's the thing. This is not just like sticking it. That's what I don't understand. It's not like he's like sticking it to the left, sticking it to the hippies, sticking it to like these environmentalist freaks who just want to destroy business. Like, this feels disruptive to not only business, like just an entire country, like nationwide suicide, like I'm talking about. It's critical to understand that this wasn't just some tree-hugging environmentalist agenda. It was also about hard-nosed economic realities. Photovoltaic solar electricity is the cheapest form of energy in history in much of the US, and it keeps getting cheaper. Batteries have also plummeted in price and turn out to have highly useful properties for all kinds of generation. Combining some non-solar production like nuclear geothermal with batteries greatly reduces the amount of solar required to fully decarbonize the grid. These two technologies unlock all manner of crazy innovation possibilities. Green steel, concrete, aluminum, industrial heat, new agricultural technologies, and so on, powered by cheap renewable power, all are in the prototype or initial rollout stage. It's an economic revolution on par with what happened in the late 1700s. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we're giving it away. Now China's already far ahead of any other country when it comes to green industry. It installed 277 gigawatts of utility-scale solar last year alone. America has installed 121 gigawatts total. That gap is scheduled to grow exponentially this year. China has also built 41 gigawatts of offshore wind. America has built a measly 174 megawatts. That is about 0.4% as much. The electric vehicle share of the Chinese new car market is soaring past 50%. Last year, America's was 10%. China's high-speed rail network, built basically from scratch in a decade and a half, makes American transport look like the ancient and decrepit relic it in fact is. Yeah, I can't. Someone said I can't decide if it's worse to believe they don't know what the hell they voted through, or if they were aware and don't give a fuck. I think a lot of them do know. Let me see if I can pull up that. Obviously, in the Senate, this was a 51-50. The Vice President J.D. Vance broke the tie, but I mean, this man truly does not care. This is, this is the way he talks about. This is the guy who wrote Hillbilly Elegy and says he wants to be for working Americans. All this. The thing that will bankrupt this country more than any other policy is flooding the country with illegal immigration and then giving those migrants generous benefits. The OBB fixes this problem, and therefore it must pass. Like they're gonna stick to this line. They're gonna stick to this is immigrants' fault. That's why you can't have nice things. That's why we need to do all this stuff. He says everything else, the CBO score, the proper baseline, the minutia of the Medicaid policy. I mean, this is the minutia of the Medicaid policy. I mean, you're talking about 17 million people here, pal, losing healthcare. The minutia of the Medicaid policy. So, I mean, I think that answers your question. This man does not fucking care. He could not care one bit about you getting kicked off Medicaid. Is immaterial compared to the ICE money and immigration enforcement provisions. And if that's the case, okay, try to pass that bill. The minutia of the Medicaid policy. I've seen many criticisms of the bill, and most of them fail a very basic test. Could those criticisms get 50 votes? Probably fucking easier than you're getting them now. As the president told me earlier today, for a good idea to become policy, it has to have the votes. Without the votes, it's a useless idea on a piece of paper. Especially considering that if the OBBB fails, taxes go up and ICE doesn't get its enforcement help. The baseline here is not the status quo. The baseline is taxes go up in a few months and a lot of our progress at the border stops. Pass the bill, pass the bill. Yeah, this is... I mean, that's the other thing. We didn't even talk... I mean, we talked about the safety net cuts. We talked about the renewable energy and how we're just fucking shooting ourselves in the dick. The ICE stuff is so scary. I mean, all this money. I mean, with everything that's been going on the last few months, do you think any Americans are like, we need more ICE? I need more terrifying... I wish I had that picture of the guys at Home Depot. And, let me see if I can find it. It's gonna be hard to find, I guess, but there's a terrifying picture of just dudes in straight fatigues popping out of a van. And I can't imagine it's can't imagine that's a winning. I mean, here's video of it. Like, who wants their streets to look like this? Who wants their towns and cities to look like this? I mean, and that's the other thing. I mean, no one. That's the answer. A big. We didn't even talk about that, but a big part of the reason they're trying to push this through. Obviously, Trump thinks it's cool to sign it on July 4th, but they want to get this thing done because people just aren't aware of what's going on, and the more people learn about it, the more they hate this fucking thing. Obviously. I mean, you're seeing old ladies on those little scooters going down to Congress to protest this shit, saying, please don't take away our health care. I mean, Christ. Fuck. Bounty hunters dressed like they're in a war zone to detain day laborers and ladies selling tacos at Home Depot in Cypress Park this morning. Yeah, I mean, this is all over California. Pasadena, everywhere. East Hollywood. And what, people are supposed to be happy about more money being allocated for this? JD Vance, that's a winning. That's a winning message for you guys. I mean, that's what's going to have the 50 votes. Let me see. I mean, because there's so much in here. It's like, isn't there yeah, great. $46.5 billion to build a wall on the United States. Is that in the Senate version? Senate bill passed is projected to. Yeah. Okay. Christ. Oh yeah. Okay. Here's the $170 billion for spending on border security, creating the capacity to deport up to 1 million people each year. $46.5 billion to build a wall. $45 billion over 4 years to add 100,000 new migrant detention beds. Great. More ICE agents. Wow, that is depressing to read. Someone said, I live in Santa Clarita, and unfortunately it's pretty red. There's tons of positive comments on the Nextdoor app about what's going on with ICE and the big bill. That's it. I mean, even I don't know. Even if you're being riled up by all this rhetoric and everything, it just feels like a deal with the devil. You know, what happens when they think their base has gotten enough of migrants and now they want Trump said, I mean, fuck, I think I have it. Trump said he wants to start deporting citizens. I mean, this is a deal with the devil.
Care less. I like to say it, a little controversial, but I couldn't care less. We have a lot of bad criminals that came into this country, and they came in stupidly. It was an unforced error. It was an incompetent president that allowed it to happen. It was an auto pen maybe that allowed it to happen. And it did happen. But we also have a lot of bad people that have been here for a long time. People that whack people over the head with a baseball bat from behind when they're not looking and kill them. People that
What?
knife you when you're walking down the street. They're not.
That just doesn't. I mean, this is the thing. They sell this vision of reality to you that's just so. I've lived in major cities basically my entire adult life. This has just never been a reality that I've been aware of.
And kill them. People that knife you when you're walking down the street. They're not new to our country. They're old to our country. Many of them were born in our country. I think we ought to get them the hell out of here too. You want to know the truth. So maybe that'll be the next job that we'll work on together. But I think getting them out, we forget about them. We had some bad accidents in New York, and they're not accidents. I like to say,
I mean, yeah, and that's not anything new, right? He's been talking about how he wants to get the homegrowns out. I mean, how do you balance staying informed with everything going on and not falling into dread and despair? I don't know if I do, bud. I just I mean, this is the constant thing of like, what do? Do you try to bury your head in the sand, which does feel good sometimes? But I mean, I don't know. There is some hope that like if people don't look away and don't bury their heads in their sand, maybe we can do something. I mean, because we are. It's fun. Someone said this to me recently of like, how everyone has that that hypothetical. If you could go back in time and you had to kill baby Hitler, we're all familiar with this hypothetical. But someone was joking that we're kind of we're almost in a baby Hitler situation. You know what I mean? I feel like if people are informed, they can kind of see what's coming. It feels like Hitler might be a baby right now, or maybe a teenager or something, if you know what I mean. And we're getting to live that little thought experiment out. But yeah, I mean, the hope is that we can get, I don't know, some kind of mobilization to do something around this. I mean, it took longer than I thought, but there were some Dems who started to do something with the ice snatchings, at least. And I'm not exactly sure who this guy is, but it's like he said, I need Hakeem Jeffries to be live streaming. I need Congress people at hospitals. I need governors on every local TV station. I need Barack decrying the gutting of Obamacare on every major podcast. For God's sake, I need some leadership from the Democrats. It's all free stuff. Just do it. Yeah, it really does. It's got to come from them. I mean, hopefully they start feeling the pressure. Obviously, someone in the chat earlier was making fun of they were making fun of Chuck Schumer for yeah, he did his best to do his part. News, I just got the name struck off this bill with a move on the floor of the Senate. It's no longer named one big beautiful bill. This bill is a big ugly betrayal of the American people by the Republicans, and the American people will remember it. Thank you, sir. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, dude, even with all this stuff going on, even Republicans are scared about what this means for their constituents. Yeah, this is better. Someone said, no, Emil, we need to be paying McKinsey $1 million to figure out how to get young men to like Democrats. Brother, unfortunately, I think we figured out how to get young men to like Democrats, and the Democrats don't like that answer. Zohran Mamdani is proving it. Real quick before we move on, but one person who is a perfect example of this, Republican from Alaska, she's not happy with the bill, but she voted for it anyway, and she's asking the House to While we have worked to improve the bill for Alaska, it is not good enough for the rest of our nation, and we all know it. My sincere hope is that this is not the final product. Then why'd you vote for it? This bill needs more work across chambers and is not ready for the president's desk. We need to work together to get this right. And what she's referencing there is her and Senator Sullivan from Alaska were able to get some carve-outs so that Alaska wasn't hit as hard as other states. This is from Senator Sullivan. I was able to get Rural Hospital Fund negotiated, a big expansion of it last night. $50 billion for rural hospitals. I anticipate Alaska in the next 5 years will be getting at least $200 million additional federal for hospitals, for Medicaid, for helping patients. So it's a big win for our rural hospitals and healthcare as well. Very reminiscent of the whole, it's very Trump. He just wants to cut deals with people. You know, you want to get your state exempt? Cut a little deal with Donnie Boy. But yeah, I mean, it's probably a good time to talk about Zohran, because one of the most frustrating things watching all this happen has been that what a lot of Democrats are doing with their time is trying to take Zohran to task, unfortunately. Yeah, Kev is not happy with Lisa. Kev's pissed. But yeah, we've seen all kinds of people coming out of it. People refusing to endorse, some people giving very tepid responses to Zohran's win, even though it was a huge win. I mean, they thought maybe he would eke out a win in some kind of final round of ranked choice voting. I mean, he was winning first round. It took 3 rounds, resounding win. But yeah, these people aren't ready to get on board with Zohran. And the most fun thing to watch though was I'm sure a lot of people by this point have seen the billionaire freak out, the elite freak out, the 1% freak out. Very reminiscent of, it's like living 2020 all over again. When Bernie won Nevada and Chris Matthews is talking about how he's nervous that he's going to get rounded up in Central Park and they're going to start executing rich people. I would love to. I don't know. If Zohran needs someone to, I don't know, hold the hands of rich people, I'll hold the town hall for rich people. I will. I'll volunteer my time we can get them all in a room. We can get Bill Ackman. We can get John Catsimatidis. We can get all these guys. I'll hold their hands while I tell them that they're going to be okay. We can explain to them how they're going to be just fine. How free buses are not going to end up with them somehow being marched into Central Park and murdered. There's the beautiful the guy on CNBC thinking he's going to get. I think this is a plot from The Dark Knight Rises.
What Batman is up against in Gotham and what the guy running for mayor is up against, that's what it reminds me of. They're taking Wall Streeters and make him walk out onto the ice in the East River and then they fall through. Yep. I mean, there is a...
He also says it like it's happening. They're taking Wall Streeters and making them walk out onto the ice. It's July, pal. No one's doing anything.
Warfare that's going...
So what's happened here, I think,
is... the rich type...
There's a division within the Democrats.
Unbelievable. They really do view themselves as like the most important protected class in the country. It's really unbelievable. Bill Ackman, he sprung right into action. What did he say? I have a great idea. on New York City. I will share it as soon as I can. I was a bit depressed when I woke up this morning. Look, that makes me feel good. If this guy woke up depressed, but I'm now optimistic. We're looking into legal issues. I guess they're trying to figure out another candidate to run. So look out for that. I imagine they're going to put all their backing into Eric Adams. I can't imagine. I don't know. Or maybe they'll get Hillary Clinton to run. I don't know what their plan is. Also, it pisses me. I was looking at his thing earlier today. Apparently he's getting involved with pro tennis. A tennis update. Didn't even know he played. I think I'm actually not going to play anymore. This bums me out. This isn't fun anymore. I met Nick Kyrgios on X, and he proposed we play an ATP tournament together. Unfortunately, Nick got injured, so our doubles hopes have been delayed. Stay out of tennis, man. Oh, this is how it... Oh, wow. I reposted an incredible Nick Kyrgios Joker Knoll doubles point, and Nick replied with an offer of a tennis lesson. Let's see what he's got. He's actually not bad. But if I was a billionaire, I'd be so good, okay? If I could afford the best coaches, if I could... Come on. This is unfortunate. I actually don't fuck with tennis anymore. This is also the... We need Zohran to say he's gonna democratize. He's gonna take all these rich tennis clubs and turn them into public courts. That's anyone who plays tennis in New York City knows the problem. It's I was getting up at like 5:45 just to get to a court and play for like an hour before getting kicked off. No way Bill Ackman is hurting for court time. Let's see the serve. We got to see the serve. All right, we came out here. He's not terrible. All right, tennis is over, guys. Wrap it up. We're not doing tennis anymore. No, I'm just kidding. But I do hope he blows out his ACL or something. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, but fuck, that pisses me off. He gets to have fucking lessons from like real legit pros. I mean, of course, he's a billionaire. Get over it, Emil. I mean, another one. This one pisses me off. This has been a tough election for me, okay? Because it's not just the Italians. You know, we had to go against Cuomo. That hurts, but also Greek American John Catsimatidis of Gristedes fame. If you're a New Yorker, you know the Gristedes grocery chain. But I couldn't believe this. I mean, this also is like. The Wall Street Journal should be ashamed because they literally just let these people print anything. This is an opinion piece written by John Catsimatidis. Want Soviet breadlines? Vote for Zohran Mamdani. And this is because he's pissed about the government grocery stores. As owner of Gristedes and D'Agostino's, the city's oldest and largest independent supermarket chains, I've spent my life keeping shelves stocked, workers employed, and families fed. That's what capitalism does. It works. It builds. It feeds. And it empowers. Now comes Zohran Mamdani with a delusional notion in the name of radical socialism that would destroy everything we've built. It's important to note, we're talking 5 pilot program grocery stores. Okay? There's going to be 1 in each borough. 5. Staten Island, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens. Just 5 to see how it works. But these 5 grocery stores is going to destroy everything they built. His public grocery store proposal, a government-run alternative to private supermarkets, would collapse our food supply, kill private industry, and drag us down a path toward the breadlines of the old Soviet Union. Get the net, man. This is everything he's suggesting was already done by Hugo Chavez in Venezuela, Fidel Castro in Cuba. Brother, he wants bureaucrats to decide what you eat, when you eat, and where you get it. Also, these are in food deserts. He doesn't want. He's trying to make sure that these places where stores like his, Christie's and D'Agostino's, haven't put their stores. He wants to make sure those people can be provided for. But to him, that's not progressive. That's oppressive. Okay? He wants bureaucrats to decide what you eat, when you eat, and where you get it. I do like that he thinks with this government grocery store, they're gonna come to your house and decide when you can eat it. Capitalism may not be perfect, but it's the only system that feeds the world. I came to this country as a 6-month-old Greek immigrant and built a business that feeds a city. That's the American dream. Mr. Mamdani's dream would turn into the nightmare of a ration line. I'm losing everything. Tennis is out. Greeks are out. Italians are out. What do I even have left? What do I have left? What is there left for me in New York City? Also, I'm pretty sure I saw someone post like a. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, yeah, great. It's like, of course, there's already examples of this being done and it being totally fine. Zohran Mamdani wants to build government supermarkets. America already has them. Keep reading with a CNN subscription? Are you out of your mind? This is ridiculous. Hey, Mail, just letting you know that I'll be listening to this while I cut the grass. Hey, Godspeed, brother. That grass is never going to see it coming. Wait, this is ridiculous. Surely someone's got a... Here we go. Atlanta is opening 2 municipal grocery stores later this year after struggling to draw a private grocery chain. Madison, Wisconsin, and rural Venice, Illinois also plan to open municipally owned stores. We've got. Oh, that's a great point. We've government-run grocery stores on military bases around the country. They're called commissaries. I was a military kid. Used to do all my shopping at the commissary. They all sell the same stuff you find at regular grocery store, usually cheaper too. That was the thing. We did it because it was way cheaper. It was a bit further from where we lived, but it was way cheaper. You got a ton of hammers hanging out over there, Emil? Yeah, I do. I'm sorry. There's a... If you weren't here earlier, I was saying, look, it's been I'm also huffing paint fumes for everyone, so I'm doing my best here, okay? We should. I honestly, I'm joking, but we should hold little town halls for scared billionaires. I want them to feel okay. I want them to know that that a free bus line and a pilot program of grocery stores and a rent freeze on rent stabilized apartments, they're gonna be okay. Also all things that like Bloomberg ran on some free bus stuff. De Blasio, I think, froze the rent multiple times throughout his tenure. Again, we have instances of some municipally owned grocery stores. It's just like, also, let's be real here. This is a lot of there's a lot of racism and Islamophobia and the whole ginning up the anti-Semitism thing here going on too. So it's not just that they're afraid of the socialism here. I mean, I'm sure everyone has seen the, God, I wish I had a clip of it. The people freaking out about him eating some food with his hands. Meanwhile, everyone trying to point out that we're about to celebrate the 4th of July, where you mostly eat hamburgers and hot dogs with your hands. Yeah. Oh yeah, but I mean, this is I wanted to talk about how this is, well, all this big beautiful bill stuff is going on. This is what, Democrats are talking about. This is,
I don't, and frankly, stylistically, and I'm not a socialist, and I don't associate myself with what he has said about the Jewish people. And
this is, everyone's trying to use this. This man has clarified so many times that the only thing people want to ask him about is anti-Semitism. Obviously the worst version of this was Kirsten Gillibrand just going. Also, before we even play this clip, I think what you have to understand is that someone, he was on the Bulwark. I forget what that guy's name is. It's like Tim, I don't know. I believe he was a former Trump supporter who also, there's been a couple of them now. Dave Smith, the Bulwark guy, former Trump supporter who said, I got duped or whatever. But he basically had Mamdani on not too long before the election, and just like everyone else, they had to ask him if he condemns all kinds of things that he's never said, never identified with, never whatever. And one of them was, from the river to the sea. Another one was globalize the Intifada. All these things that he basically said, like, look, I'm not running to be the word police. These things mean different things to other people. This is not, I understand everyone's point of view on this, but I'm not really here to condemn words. And that has been, you've seen all kinds of people say, that he says and uses those words, that he supports it, that he, or just changed it, that he's saying globalize the jihad, which I think we're going to see. Let's listen to what Kirsten Gillibrand says. She's on the Brian Lehrer show, which is I believe it's an NPR show. And I believe he's also a Jewish man living in New York. And he really gives her ample outs on this, but she does not want to take him.
Good morning. Thank you for taking my call and question. I wanted to ask two very pertinent questions about the threats facing the Jewish community, unfortunately, from Zohran Mamdani. There was a bill that I was reading about that, unfortunately, he wants to target synagogues and Jewish institutions which donate to nonprofits, which are medical institutions like United Hatzalah and Magan David Adam, which is like the Jewish Red Cross. So how do we make sure that Jewish institutions are protected from his plans to punish and fine our institutions which fundraise these medical nonprofits, which do work both here in the United States and in Israel and other countries in the world? And also, how can we hold Mr. Mamdani accountable for his glorifying association of Hamas and other terror bombings of the Intifada in 1990s, where over 1,000 Jewish Israelis were killed, to his revisionist Holocaust knowledge, to the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, where Jews were mass exterminated and faced threats? He compared when Jews were killed to when Jews fought back against Nazis. It's quite despicable. I'm sorry.
Gabe, thank you for your call. There's a lot in there, Senator, some of which may be inaccurate.
Which is great to point out. Like, it's always nice to have someone be like, look, that is, he's asking a question, but that is, none of that has been fact checked by us.
I don't know. I can't fact check everything in real time, but do you know any of that to be inaccurate or accurate, including the original premise that he would somehow target synagogues if they were contributing to groups like Hatzalah, ambulance services, in a way that he could hurt the synagogues? I just don't want to give out information that's false, but I also don't want to shrink from information that's true.
Well, the caller is exactly the New York constituents that I've spoken to that are alarmed. They are alarmed by past public statements. They are alarmed by past positions, particularly references to global jihad.
So she only references things. They keep doing this, like Eric Swalwell did. Like, I don't identify with the things he said about Jewish people, which is like, what did he say other than I want to work with all New Yorkers and meet Jewish New Yorkers where they're at, in their synagogues, their temples, wherever I have to go. They're alarmed by past public statements. They're alarmed by past positions. She doesn't say anything except for particularly references to global jihad.
This is a very serious issue because people that glorify the slaughter of Jews create fear in our communities. The global intifada is a statement that means destroy Israel and kill all the Jews. So these are the kinds of things that if Mr. Mamdani is elected our mayor, we'll need to assure all New Yorkers that he will protect all Jews and protect houses of worship and protect funding.
He's done this so many times, just to be like, everywhere this man goes, he's made to he's made to assure everyone of his commitment to the Jewish people of New York and all over the world. I mean, we've talked about it on here, of everyone making hay of him not wanting to leave New York, which in turn means that he wouldn't go to Israel, so he's not a good mayor.
For not-for-profits that meet the needs of these communities. Those are the things he'll have to do as our mayor.
He would certainly say that he has committed to protecting all Jews in New York as mayor of New York. Do you dispute? Do you doubt that?
Well, one of the issues I did talk to him yesterday was exactly this issue, and he has agreed to work with me on this and to protect all residents. So this is something I care deeply about, and so I will be an advocate on these issues. These are things that
if he already did the thing,
I think
why
are
are
important
you?
to New Yorkers, and I will work with him when he gets elected, if he gets elected, to make sure everyone is protected. I also, on the federal level, work to get resources for all our religious sites in the state and in the city. I lead the letter for funding for I lead the letter for the funding to protect synagogues and churches and temples and places of worship across our city and state. And these are things that he has assured me in my one conversation that he will protect everyone. But I understand why people are concerned because of past statements. And so this is just an issue that I will work with him on for sure.
I just feel compelled to say we can find no evidence that he has supported Hamas or has supported violent jihad, as that caller was asserting. Can you?
Again, Brian, I don't have all the data and information, and I've never sat down with Mr. Mamdani. So I've asked to have that meeting. I'm going to have that meeting. We will talk through all these things. He can tell me his views of the world, and I can learn them firsthand. I think the reference that I had read was global intifada specifically, which has very serious meanings that are violent and destructive. So
which he says, and I pressed him on this on the show on Monday, but which he says are not calls for violence, because intifada is a much broader term involving all kinds of uprisings and resistance and things like that. So I just want to be clear about how at least he defines it.
This man is so kindly giving her so many outs. Like, just so you know, I talked to him and you have it wrong.
And maybe he needs to be more clear. I don't mean this. I don't mean that. He did say here that he didn't want to be the word police, even as the mayor of New York, if he's elected. But I do also want to be clear that he said he does not support violent intifada. Is that fair?
So, Brian, I didn't hear your exchange with him, but if I was speaking to him directly, I would simply say that is not how the words are received. And it doesn't matter what meaning you have in your brain. It is not how the word is received. And when you use a word like intifada to many Jewish Americans and Jewish New Yorkers, that means you are permissive for violence against Jews. It is a serious word. It is a word that has deep meaning. It has been used for wars across time and violence and destruction and slaughter and murder against the Jews. It is a harmful, hurtful, inappropriate word for anyone who wants to represent a city as diverse as New York City with 8 million people. And I would be very specific in these words, and I would say you may not use them again if you expect to represent everyone ever again, because they are received as hateful and divisive and harmful. And that's it. So I appreciate that he told you he didn't mean that, and that's great. That's
And
a
I
great
think
place
we
to start.
also clarify, or he was clarifying that he never said globalize the intifada. He was asked in an interview if he would denounce the phrase globalize the intifada. And then that led to this kind of conversation, that you were just referring to. But that he was never out there saying globalize the intifada. He was asked about other people who used it. So just to be precise about what happened there, yes?
Well, as a leader of a city as diverse as New York City, with 8 million people, as the largest Jewish population in the country, he should denounce it. And that's it, period. And you can't celebrate it, you can't value it, you can't lift it up. And that is the challenge that Jewish New Yorkers have had, certainly since October 6th. October 7th. It is exactly what they have felt. It is why Jewish students in our universities have felt unsafe. It is why Jewish students have felt that their schools did not have their backs and cared about them or their learning, because the people doing these protests use words that have meanings that are far more violent and horrific than they may have intended. But when you hear things like intifada, when you hear things like jihad, when you hear from the river to the sea, it is received as slaughter the Jews and destroy Israel, period.
Someone said Bolt Talker's talking 2x speed. I think that whoever uploaded this probably had it on quickly.
It's how it's received. And if you talk to any group, you talk to our LGBTQ community, you talk to our Black community, you talk to our Hispanic community, there are words and there are imagery and there are things that are said that they will hear it and feel it as a dagger to their throat. And so if you want to be a leader, you have to recognize how these things are felt and received, and saying there should be no word police is irresponsible. Because as a leader, you have to protect everyone, period.
One more thing before you go. For you as a member of...
Yeah. So that's kind of what our Democrats have, that's what the Democrats have been busying themselves with. Also, they've so much smoke for Zohran, right? And I mean, as he's fending off just the most insane I think, what is his name? Andy Ogles? I mean, this is what he's dealing with. Zohran Little Mohammed Mamdani is an anti-Semitic socialist communist who will destroy the great city of New York. He needs to be deported, which is why I am calling for him to be subject to denaturalization proceedings. Attached is my letter to Pam Bondi, Attorney General. I write to request that the Department of Justice open an investigation into whether Zohran Kwame Mamdani, currently a candidate for mayor of New York City, should be subject to denaturalization proceedings. But they have no smoke for any of this. Kirsten Gillibrand, to her credit, did apparently she's privately apologized. So she can publicly smear him, but she'll privately apologize, which is very nice of her. And I mean, sure, that's just one Congress member trying to do this, but Trump has already said, he's looking into it. Of course.
Of New York City may well be led by a communist soon, Zohran Mamdani, who in his nomination speech said he will defy ICE and will not allow ICE to arrest criminal aliens in New York City. Your message to communist Zohran Mamdani?
Well, then we'll have to arrest him. Look, we don't need a communist in this country, but if we have one, I'm going to be watching over him very carefully on behalf of the nation. We send him money. We send him all the things that he needs to run a government. And by the way, they get about 3 times what you get, Ron. If you look at the per capita, Florida gets 1/3 of what New York gets in terms of the numbers. Why don't you give us those numbers?
Yeah, well,
because that's what we should send him.
Yeah, well, like sometimes people say Florida gets more because they count Social Security recipients, but that's not money to the state. Those are seniors that live here. If they moved to North Carolina, you could count it there. So it has no interaction with the state government.
Also, Ron DeSantis is such a fucking cuck. Whatever. All these guys are. I mean, every guy who's lining up with Trump has been absolutely just used and abused by this man.
They get more in the city and state governments than we get.
Right, substantially. We're going to be watching that very carefully, and a lot of people are saying he's here illegally. We're going to look at everything, and ideally, he's going to turn out to be much less than a communist. But right now, he's a communist. That's not a socialist.
Whew. I thought they didn't want government interference. Yeah, well, they want the government interference when it works for them, really. Not good, folks. I mean, I genuinely was feeling pretty amped up last week. I mean, after that win, it felt massive. It felt just like this was going to reverberate. Oh, no. I did it again. I did it again, didn't I? I'm sorry about that. Am I back? 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 Ugh. Am I back? Is there sound now? Is there sound now? I don't know how I hit the thing. Okay, great. We're back. Sorry about that. I don't know where I got cut off. All I was saying was that, this is just extremely frustrating that Mamdani proved that it's not just white men. People were either not showing up or voting in the other direction because they're tired of being told to vote against something. They want to vote for something, and he proved, look, if you give them something to vote for, they're going to vote for it. But the thing is, they're wishing that we could just get a bunch of young people with, I don't know, Chuck Schumer's policies. No, don't worry. Everyone's saying they thought the CIA got me or something. No. This is good, though. I don't think we've gotten one copyright issue this time. So it's actually pretty huge for me. I will say, this is a horrible design of the mic. This thing is so easy to touch. I'm sorry that I do it from time to time. I'm a fidgeter. All of that. But yeah. I mean, this is... Have you guys seen that? I'm sure people have seen a little bit of him because he goes viral on Twitter, but the Harry Enton guy... It's amazing because, I mean, he looks like maybe he's my age. CNN's chief data analyst, Harry Enton. I don't know how they don't make him like this anymore. I feel like because of TV and internet and everything, these kind of accents went away. But anyway, he's talking about how people basically, they want new leadership. They want these people out. They want the DNC to go in a different direction. I mean,
what should they take away is that the party leaders, Democrats who say they want to replace their party leaders, look at this, 62% nationally say yes compared to just 24% who say no. That lines up with the idea that Democrats view their own members of Congress, their own leaders in Congress, record low approval rating. Democrats right now are out for blood. They want to take out their party leaders. And you saw that with Andrew Cuomo going, adios, amigos, goodbye. See you later in New York this past Tuesday. What should...
I mean, people are done. That's yeah, these people have nothing to offer. I mean, that and I think they realize that. I mean, there's no, I don't know, we'll see. You know what I want I'm sure he would do it. Mamdani would I think Joe Rogan would have Mamdani on. I think that would be massive. Okay? I think when this guy hits the podcast circuit, we get him on a Theo Vaughn. We get him on a... Oh, you know what we got to get him on? We got to get him on... What's the one with the Andrew Schultz? What is that one called? We got to get him on Andrew Schultz. I think if we get him on 3 big pods, this guy's going to take over the party. Oh, I just saw another one with this guy. I mean, this is probably another. These two things, I'm sure, are connected. Same guy, Harry Enton.
Andrew Cuomo, during the primary, attacked Mamdani as being insufficiently pro-Israel. I'm not quite sure the former governor understood how much the politics have changed around this issue among Democrats. What are we talking about here? All right, who Democrats sympathize more with, Israelis or Palestinians? In 2017, the Democratic Party was a pro-Israeli party. Look at this. They sympathized with the Israelis by 13 points, more with the Israelis than the Palestinians. But look at this sea change. Now Democrats sympathize more with the Palestinians by 43 points.
I mean, I don't really know what this guy's policies are, but he always, if you've seen any of his stuff, he almost seems so surprised by everything, and seeming so surprised by this one is just, this feels so odd. It's like, my God, have you been watching what's going from 2017 to now? Like, listen to the way he says it.
The Israelis than the Palestinians. But look at the sea change.
Look at the sea change. Brother, but he's acting like it happened in a vacuum.
Now Democrats sympathize more with the Palestinians by 43 points.
Now, after watching for close to 2 years, the most horrific thing people have ever seen in their lives.
Oh my God, that is a
change
in the margin of 56 points over the course of just 8 years. So all of a sudden,
I'm so confused why he's picking 2017 too. Like I'm sure if he picked like from 2023 to now, it would have been. He keeps saying like, "Wow, in 8 years, what happened in 8 years? What happened in the last 20 months?"
Palestinian position that actually reigns supreme in democratic politics, not the Israeli position, and that is part of the reason why Mamdani was able to do so well in this primary, because those attacks over Israel, simply put, did not ring true for Democrats. They're now on the side of the Palestinians, not the Israelis.
I mean,
also the way he's saying, like, they're now on this side. Okay, yeah.
This is a much bigger issue, specifically with Mamdani, though. I mean, an outspoken critic of Israel. He's facing continued criticism, though, for not being outspoken enough against anti-Semitism, that is for sure. But on this, talk about Democrats and how broadly how this really is shifting.
Yeah, so, you see this.
Oh, weird. Someone in the comments said Andrew Schultz said on his podcast a couple days ago that they've been trying to get him on, but Zohran's team has been dodging them. Interesting. That feels. Look, I think if anyone's been engaging with any of my content, I'm like not the most. I'm not a huge Andrew Schultz supporter. That feels odd. I mean, this guy's been going into. I mean, why would he go on the bulwark like a couple days before the election? But he'd be afraid to talk to Andrew Schultz. I mean, I don't know. Also, can you drop links in here? If anyone has I'd love to see that. If anyone has a link of Andrew Schultz talking about that, I mean, I can look for it too. I would dodge Andrew Schultz if I was Zohran too. I mean, yeah. I mean, who knows? I don't know. I'd like to see that clip.
It's among Democrats overall, right? But we know that Mamdani's base was younger voters within the Democratic Party. And so I want to break it down
with younger Democrats.
Correct. So take a look here. Who age 18 to 49 Democrats sympathize more with, the Israelis or the Palestinians? Again, in 2017, younger Democrats sympathize more with the Israelis by 14 points. Look at this shift now. Palestinians, they sympathize more with the Palestinians by 57 points. That is an over 70-point shift in the margin.
It feels so weird to talk about this without talking about why this is happening.
In just a matter of 8 years. So the bottom line is, Mamdani's base within the Democratic Party and the base of the Democratic Party of younger voters, younger Democrats, have changed tremendously on this issue in 8 years' time. I rarely ever see shifts like this, Kate.
Yes, why? Why do you think, my man?
In which you see one side of the equation leading by 14 points 8 years ago, and then all of a sudden the other side of the equation leading by 57 points. The bottom line is the politics around the...
You guys get it. Let's see if we can find... I need to see if I can find Andrew Schultz talking about... Also, I do love. I don't know why. There's something about. Someone said I don't know how many votes lie in an appearance on that show. I don't think it's about getting. I don't think that would be about getting votes in New York. I think we're kind of talking about the state of the Democratic Party. I do think. I do think like that is a vibe shift of like getting this guy out in front of people, more people seeing him and what he's all about, rather than just the kind of Bill Ackman's traditional media, people talking about how absolutely terrifying he is and marching people out onto the ice to make sure they fall into the freezing East River or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I always do love the kind of the guy who's just like obsessed with their dad. My dad has read the New York Times every day of my life. It sat on our kitchen counter, unfolded, torn apart, its insides yanked at like a fresh sourdough. This made him really proud. Well, I'm glad about that. Damn. Someone linked the Zohran thing. I need to see it. Yeah, I don't know. These are all old as hell. Well, if anyone has it, let me know. But I definitely don't think he should shy away from any of those things if he has the opportunity. I could totally see him going on those. Did that link go through? What link? Did you send a link to me? Is someone trying to send the Schultz clip? Because I would love to see it. Let me see. At M Roach. Did you try to send Schultz? Damn, I feel like maybe you're not allowed to. Yeah, I guess it blocked the link. That is annoying, but I can imagine that there's a good reason why they block links in the chat. Maybe it's because
I've had a lot of people reach out, yo, you can have Mamdani on, okay? Yeah, we've been trying to have them on. And Mamdani, maybe your comms people aren't getting back to you or whatever it is, but like they've been ghosting us. Initially, I think they were reaching out a lot. You were in touch with them.
how did I do it again? How does this happen? I don't understand. What's wrong with this mic? I gotta get a new mic. This is, or maybe I can turn the feature off. This is a stupid thing to do. Mm. Can you hear me now? I'm almost positive it's back on. All right. Great. I'm so pissed. I'm gonna figure out how to turn this feature off because it's who needs that? But yeah, all I was saying, let's start over. All I was saying was that he says they're ghosting him, which I think is fine. He's going on like CNN, MSNBC, all these like traditional media things, doing interviews with all kinds of people. I don't think he needs to prioritize flagrant, but I think between now and November, that would be great. So let's just.
Okay, so listen, I've had a lot of people reach out, yo, you can have Mamdani on, okay? Yeah, we've been trying to have them on. And Mamdani, maybe your comms people aren't getting back to you or
they'll get to you, Andrew.
Whatever it is, but like they've been ghosting us. Initially, I think they were reaching out a lot. You were in touch with them. They were really trying to come on.
Yes, they were.
We had to go to Ibiza before they wanted to turn this into, the.
So they were trying. Okay, I'm glad we're watching this. They were trying to come on, but they had to go to Ibiza.
Expanding the caliphate to New York City.
Also, don't say we. What do you mean we?
The royal.
The
royal did that. The royal we. Mamdani.
Exactly. So, listen, we all went on vacation, right? And, okay, and then I come back from vacation. I'm trying to email a comms. I'm texting the comms person. I DM them. They gave me a little cold shoulder when I DM'd, and then somebody else in the DMs was like, oh, actually, yeah, I heard we're in touch with some people, blah, blah, blah.
All right, okay. So I think he's going to go on, I would imagine. I'm curious if there's anyone. Schultz working overtime to defend the billionaire class. Okay, we're not watching this whole thing. Oh, my God. I imagine this. How long is this? 2 hours and 17 minutes. I imagine this might give me a stroke. I don't think I could handle watching. He needs to go on. This would be honestly wild how Schultz always gives Trump the benefit of the doubt and tries to find how he might be playing chess to get what he wants. And then for Mamdani, he's just super critical of every little thing. Oof. I might have to watch this. This is going to be. Oh. Damn, Schultz, your co-host straight up gave you the answers about Mamdani's housing initiative, refuting what you said, and you still don't admit you were wrong. That's some crazy grift. Yeah, he needs to come on. I didn't even realize this. Why do people watch? I mean, the top. These are the top comments, right? These are not like new. Yeah, top. Like, these are the top comments being like, "This man's a fucking idiot." Andrew never fails to have the worst takes on any given subject. Talking about student loans and shit. Bring Zohran on the pod. I mean, definitely. I love this guy. Bring him on your pod. You seem to know everything. Ay. Yeah. This is the thing. Schultz is a very strange creature, man. His watching him, obviously from a little bit of a distance, out of curiosity, it's weird. He had that. He's a bit of a chameleon. He kind of goes all over the place, and I think he also pays attention to these comments and stuff and changes. He had a little bit of a backlash towards him being like, "Look, I was always a Democrat because they were cool. It was always about saying what you wanted and getting fucking pussy, dude. Like that's why I liked Bill Clinton. He played the sax and he got pussy. He got a blowjob. But now Trump gets the pussy. That's why I like him." And everyone was like, "Dude, what are you even talking about?" And then he kind of, with Charlemagne the God, we'll talk about how he needs, I don't know. if the Democrats went with Bernie, he would have voted for them. And I'm like, yeah, because it's safe for you to say that, right? Like the Bernie movement is dead. Bernie's, oh, Kev. You know what? This might be a good time to use the little feature. Okay, guys. Sorry. Kev was, he heard the Bernie stuff and he got pissed. But yeah, it does feel like it's like just very politically safe for him to, be like, I was actually a Bernie guy. No, you weren't, pal. And if that's the case, like, stay home. Don't, stay home and just shut up and don't become a Trump guy. It's not like those were the two options for you. And if he was a Bernie guy, like, how are you just like not rocking with Zohran in this moment? So he's just like a fucking slippery operator. And I'm sick of this guy. I mean, it's very interesting watching this. Longtime Schultz fan, but feels like his critiques of Mamdani are not justifiable. Andrew Deff making more than $1 million a year and scared of paying those taxes that will be implemented on him by Mamdani policies. I would have loved him more if he showed support to him and actually helped the people of New York who are actually struggling with rent. Yeah, I mean, this is just, it is crazy. I mean, I'm just always interested to see like where regular people are at with this. And that's what I'm talking about, where I think it would be huge if Zohran started going on some of these things and being able to talk about these things. People got on my case because I think maybe it was a tweet or maybe I said it on the show at some point, but they were pissed because I said that like it wouldn't have helped because everyone was like, why didn't Kamala do Rogan? Why didn't she go on these shows? Why didn't she do more podcasts? And I said it wouldn't have helped if she went on those shows. And I stand by that because she didn't have a viewpoint. She didn't have any perspective. She didn't have any a popular platform to go on. I don't think just anyone can go on podcasts and people are all of a sudden going to be like, wow, I love this candidate. You have to actually have something you believe in. You have to actually be a real person. You have to have something to offer. You have to be giving people something to vote for. And this guy can do it. This guy can do it. I am going to have to, yeah, someone said Kamala couldn't give substantive answers. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. This guy, Mamdani's giving an absolute masterclass on not getting caught in all these things. He's just sticking to his guns on absolutely everything. When it comes to Israel-Palestine stuff, when it comes to, watching him go on, was it CNN, where they ask him if he likes capitalism and him just fully being like, no, I have many critiques of it. And then going into the Martin Luther King quote, it's just like, this dude is just lapping everybody. It's unbelievable. And the difference between Elizabeth Warren just in 2020 when she's on the campaign trail and they're like, well, Liz, are you still a capitalist the way you're talking about all this? And she feels compelled to say, I'm a capitalist to my bones. Just like who? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe times have changed. Maybe things have gotten so much worse that people are less afraid of the socialist term, but yeah, he's just unapologetically I think he also stuck to his guns on the billionaires thing. They asked him if billionaires should exist, and he said, no, I don't think they should. Just, I could be wrong, but I've started seeing him as playing up a character, and it allows him to reach his intense bro audience while also gets people to question some of his outrageous takes. You know what? That's from M. That's not a bad take, I think. It's also hard when you're engaging with content to know what's real and what's not, because like stuff that is going to induce rage comments obviously plays better, and it's yeah. He's also, I have to hand it to him, he's someone who seems at least very savvy. He built his own audience off of, I'm not going to say he like created that, but I know he was one of the early dudes doing crowd work clips. I know he's just been good at playing the internet. So, I wouldn't be surprised if the reason I can't quite figure out where his politics lies because he's like all over the place on purpose. So it is always hard to tell with these people. Yeah. Being some kind of like principled actor in this time doesn't, doesn't get you very far. But oh, wow. Yeah, everyone's already fucking hip to this. Why he continues to talk about politics when it's clear he's making it up in the moment is beyond me. The amount of times he completely flip-flopped on his own arguments when talking about Zoran alone is embarrassing. I'm going to have to watch this. I do wish I was a bit more knowledgeable about what gets me copyright violations and stuff, because I think it would be kind of fun to watch this, but I know I'll get absolutely screwed by YouTube. But yeah, maybe I can watch it and find some clips and plan on the next thing. I'm really curious. I'm really curious what they're saying, but maybe I won't. I don't need to twist myself in the knots, getting pissed about what this grifter has to say. I don't want Conan to go on. I'm a huge Conan fan. He's the absolute best in the biz. Don't go on Schultz's show. You don't need to do that. I don't think he's in any rush to do that anyway. I'm just saying that's the last thing you need to do. All right, you know what? Let's also we gotta talk a little bit about the we got to talk a little bit about the Alligator Alcatraz thing before we wrap this up. I don't know. As long as you pause and comment, that counts as transformative content. I don't know what that exactly means. But yeah, the same people who are going to tell you that it's impossible to kind of build anything to help or house people they'll likely be pointing out how impressive it is what the Trump administration has been. Oh wait, someone just said Joe Rogan Bernie episode was a strange one too. Joe agreed on so many ideals, yet continues to fall into the ignorance of the right. Probably just because that's his fan base now and a safe zone now. I don't know. I think it's easier to like default into those like right wing arguments, right? I don't know. It's easy to be like, it's easy to go look at these screeching libs, right? They're so and you're seeing it. Look, it's they want free stuff. They don't live in the real world. They want to defund the police, but it's not. It takes, you have to like actually have some kind of political conviction to like look a little bit deeper, think about do you really think all these people just want these, they want to make the world a worse place with So if they're worried about, pick defund the police, they're worried about, police violence, all kinds of things they're doing to their communities, but they're just advocating for defunding the police and like letting everything fall to shit. But it's much more difficult to then do the work and look into what defund the police actually means and all the scholarship and research that's gone into people showing that there's real hard evidence of shifting funding from police into social programs, having a much greater decrease in crime than just adding to police budgets. So it's just easy to like, oh, you just want to talk shit on a podcast. Well, it's so easy to just make fun of these things and call people idiots and all that stuff. But yeah, also who knows? It could just be pandering to audience at this point too. Also, who knows? Maybe I passed out a long time ago, and I've been asleep this whole time from paint fumes. Oh yeah. Okay, but yeah, real quick. I mean, if you haven't heard about Alligator Alcatraz, it's basically just it's probably just it's a new peak of this American cruelty thing we're doing down in Florida in the Everglades. Just an absolute mess. I mean, let's hear Trump talk about it. Let's hear him talk about how he thinks this thing's going to go. Oh yeah, and it's for housing migrants. He asked, with the Alligator Alcatraz is the idea that if some illegal immigrant escapes, they just get eaten by an alligator. Oh, I forgot to. That's my bad.
I guess that's the concept. This is not a nice business. I guess that's the concept. If snakes are fast, but alligators are, but we're going to teach them how to run away from an alligator, okay? If they escape prison, how to run away. Don't run in a straight line. Run like this. And you know what? Your chances go up about 1%. Okay? Not a good thing. And with the alligator...
Whew. This stuff kind of breaks me. I'm just like not quite prepared for just cruelty to kind of just take over, just cruelty to be kind of the leading sentiment in this country. And I think you're going to see more and more people kind of go that way, unfortunately. I mean, you have two options. You have two, like you can kind of just go, okay, this is what we're doing now, or try to like fight against it and just every day see a new crueler thing that you never would imagined. Someone said herd Floridians are outraged about it. Yeah, I did see there's a bunch of protests. If anyone down there has been or has information, please drop it in the chat. I'm very curious how that's going. I mean, here's Benny Johnson just like getting absolutely off on walking through a concentration. I mean, looking at this, he says, I don't think anyone realizes how impressive Alligator Alcatraz is. The state of Florida built this 3,000-bed federal prison in 8 days. The director tells me it could have been done in 72 hours were it not for some regulatory holdups. Now all the state needs is DOJ approval to deputize the National Guard as deportation judges, and this will become the most efficient deportation center in American history. This is like... At best, this will become I don't know, museum after all this is said and done. And we're going to talk about the horrific days of Trump's second administration and all these mistakes. Horrifying. Horrifying. Yeah, I mean, this crazy how they can build this so fast, but public infrastructure takes many decades. Yeah, this is just fucking disgusting. I mean, this freak also, I mean, this guy, something needs to be done about this guy.
I just want everyone to know that there's official Alligator Alcatraz merch. There it is, provided to us by the state of Florida. Incredible. And yeah.
I mean, look, I talked about this on a in a bonus episode at one point. I was on a flight sitting next to this woman. I believe her name is Abigail Schreier. She works for, I think, the Free Press. Is that what it is? Yes. Manhattan Institute to right-wing think tanks. And I kind of explained this whole story about how she was trying to sleep on the plane. And she had this whole, I don't want to explain the whole story because it's just very long, but she was having this like freak out about, she met someone who was more on the left, who was kind of prominent, and she was it was paranoid. Her husband had gone to sleep next to her, and she kept trying to sleep. She would put her phone in her bag, and she would close her eyes for like 2 seconds, and then I would see her like grab her phone again and text her friend and ask her to talk to them for her. And I'm just, I don't know. I think it just, I think these people are unwell. I think I lost the, damn it. I want the Benny Johnson thing, but just hearing that laugh, I mean, this is just not good for anybody. Someone said that episode was peak. Yeah, go look it up. I can't tell the entire story, but it's just, I don't think these people sleep well. I think they know what they're doing. I think, I think they're fully aware that they are, that their humanity has
there's official
withered
Alligator
away.
Alcatraz merch. There it is, provided to us by the state of Florida. Incredible. And yeah, would you rock this drip?
No one should be excited about this.
Look at that.
I don't know, man. That glee can't be real. I don't know. That laugh is
Us by the state of Florida.
it's scary, man. Yeah, someone said they're willing to trade sleep for money and power. Probably. I hope this doesn't end well for any of these fucking freaks. We got to be better than this. Yeah, someone said these are human beings you're laughing about. I mean, all right. There was also we got to get off this. Someone said, hi, Emil. Hi all the way from the world in Croatia. Hi to you, man. Hi to all these people. We're probably going to wrap in a little bit. We can make it more positive. Okay. So let's recap. They took, Bill Ackman took tennis away from me. Cuomo took, and Chris Cuomo, not just Andrew, Chris too. They took being an Italian American and made it not fun. John Catsimatidis, ruined being a Greek American. We need guys. I guess I'll have to be the guy. We got to make me the new guy. This is what we got to make, having this many Twitter tabs is open is bad for the soul. I was only doing it for the show. I was trying to show stuff. I'm going to close it as soon as this stream ends. Yeah, this is a good point. Jake Brown says it's hard when it's not misinformation. That's the problem, but lack of humanity. I think that's what's scared me the most. I've talked to friends and family who have kind of fallen down this maybe Trump pipeline, and it seems like they've lost something, and it's tragic. Can we keep tennis? No, we're keeping tennis. We're also keeping Italian Americans. We're keeping Greek Americans too. We're keeping tennis. We're not going to let Bill Ackman get us down. Even though he'd probably smoke me because he has literally Nick Kyrgios and Roger Federer and all these people. Oh, wait, hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Oh wow, did you see the Robert Reich article about the war on empathy? No, I didn't. But that does sound like something that's right up my alley. War on empathy. Robert Reich. Oh, is it this? Is it brand new? Is it this on his Substack? Jack, I'm going to need you to confirm. Is this what you're talking about? Let's see. The Trump, Musk, Republicans, and the empathy bug, the real crisis we're living through. Yes, on steps. Oh, great. Friends. During a 3-hour interview with the podcaster Joe Rogan some months ago, Elon Musk revealed the core of ideology animating the richest person in the world. Yeah, the fundamental weakness of Western civilization is empathy. I remember when this happened. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to read this when I'm not on stream, but this feels exactly right. I mean, this drives me crazy. I mean, I had a moment of of like, let's see what I was even referencing, but oh, okay, right. So someone was saying, oh, this is about Zohran. The Mamdani policy I'm most excited about is universal childcare. I don't think people realize just how huge this would be for the children and parents of New York. And David Hill, who we had on the show, great guy, really nice guy. Bill de Blasio did universal pre-K when he was first elected. Critics howled that there was no way to pay for it and it was socialism. Now it is a fact of life in New York City. People love it, and it honestly changed my life. Push these things through and make New York City a better place to live. And so when this woman, Diane Stevens, Diane for Justice, the question I want somebody to answer for me is this: why would you have kids if you can't afford to provide for them? You bring kids into this world, you are responsible for them. That's called being a parent and an adult. And it just like broke me. I just like was mashing on the keyboard. Okay, my question is, why is it so bad to fucking help people? Is unburdening the expense of having a child really this strange to you? Have you never fallen on hard times? Do you not want a helping hand if you were to experience hardship? Should we let you and your child go hungry? I don't know where this comes from. Is this how people are all around the world, or is this like a uniquely American strain that we have to deal with? I just genuinely don't know why it's so bad to help people. Like even this thing he's talking about. Liberals and progressives are exploiting a bug in Western civilization, which is the empathy response, pointing to a California's move to provide medical insurance even to undocumented people who qualify for its low-income Medi-Cal program. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's not. It's never going to bother me to help people. It's just not. Yeah. I don't know. I do think it's I don't know. I think it's less common. I try to remain optimistic about it. I do think that I think unfortunately that the Democratic Party, the opposition party to all this, has not done a good job of positioning themselves as like the real party of empathy. I mean, you're seeing it right now with the Zohran Mamdani thing, and the I don't know. My most optimistic take is that like we can change either the party or there's a new party or whatever has to happen. Because look, watching Zohran Mamdani have to deal with a party that seems genuinely hostile towards him it's obviously there's divergent theories on which way to go, whether the party needs to be reformed or an entire new party needs to be started, which obviously seems like a huge battle. So I'm not here to say which one's right, but it seems very obvious that this party has not made themselves has not cut a path for people who do want to see empathy in politics. And I think if we can change that somehow, we can get ourselves out of this horrific mess. Helping others is what makes us human and not wild animals. Let's end on this. There's that beautiful Kurt Vonnegut quote. You got to be kind or something. No, it's not this one. Well, it's good enough. Hello, babies. Welcome to Earth. It's hot in the summer and cold in the winter. It's round and wet and crowded on the outside. Babies, you got 100 years here. There's only one rule that I know of. Babies, God damn it, you got to be kind. There's one where he talks about, whatever. Or like, we're here to help people or something. Someone's got it. There it is. We're here to help each other get through this thing, whatever it is. It's in A Man Without a Country. Yeah, look at this. I mean, all these people are flooding it with beautiful quotes. Society thrives when old men plant trees they know they'll never be see the shade of. Look, it's all the things. We can do this. Emil, if you're in charge of picking a 2028 candidate now, who are you thinking has potential? You know what? Maybe we'll do a stream where we talk about that. We'll run through what the options are. Because I'm gonna have to bail in a second. If anyone has some last minute questions, or you know what, why don't people pop off on the chat? What are they doing? Something fun for the holiday? Are they doing something fun for the 4th? Are they at least having a time while all this horrific stuff is happening? Put it in the chat if you think you're having the best 4th weekend. Well, we got oh hell yes, we got What's Up Brother camping and doing mushrooms. That might be the winner. Going to Boston, okay, great. Going to the beach, you can't go wrong. Playing games with my siblings, can't go wrong. Going to Black's Beach. All right. Having a pretty mid fourth weekend, to be honest. Honestly, so am I. I'm just going to be chilling. What's your favorite beach on the Jersey Shore? This is a great question. I used to love going to Long Beach Island. That one always felt special. It's like you're just like kind of in another little world when you go over that bridge and you're, you know, everyone knows I love being. Everyone knows I love being carless. You go over the bridge, you park at the house, you can just ride your bike everywhere. Or yeah, it's great. Probably have to go with somewhere down. I spent a lot of time in Beach Haven on Long Beach Island. Hell yes to everyone spending time outdoors, heading up to the lake, off work, good enough for me. Hell yeah. Ooh, someone says in Greece. Come on. Long distance boyfriend visiting, going to the beach. Hell yes, beautiful. Moving to Australia for school. Good luck. All right, guys. That's probably good enough for today. There's so much stuff. I'm like exhausted trying to keep up with all this, but we gotta. Wow, someone said wearing their LBI hoodie right now. Hell yes. Love that. But yeah, thanks again for joining. Have a happy 4th. Have a great holiday weekend, everyone. Enjoy it.